Hey everyone, let me make sure that I have this set up so that I can see any messages you guys send. So, we are here at Barron's Woods, which is a really, oh, thank you for the thumbs up, I appreciate that. Whoever just did that. Yeah, again, this is regarding Allyson Watterson, I think. Anyway, we're at Barron Woods, which is a very small nature refuge. Just to give you a sense of how suburban this area is, I'll just do a quick pan. So, okay, so that's the woods, and hi. It's a local, I'm trying not to, I'm gonna wait till they pass. But I just want you guys to get a sense of how, before we actually go into the park, so you can see like how suburban this is. Like, this is very much, very kind of idyllic. It's your basic suburban street, it's just right here randomly, which is kind of interesting and cool for our purposes, and hopefully can give people some context as to what this area is actually like when you get into the woods. So, alright. My mom's over there helping me out, so she'll be here because, she knows karate, so, don't mess with her. Yeah. Thanks. Alright, so we're gonna just walk in here and, yeah. I'll keep this on me, I guess, in a way, if you wanna. Okay, so, are you okay? I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone really cares. It's not really about, us. It's about just trying to give people a sense of what's...
know who you're talking to.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they've seen you before. Like, you've been on camera. God, I did this so spur of the moment. I didn't even grab my gimbal. Like, I just was like, we're gonna lose light. We have to get out there. So, how did we enter? I know we've, been here, a million times before. I think it's... Yeah, the path's over here. Or is this one? Well, I'll show you guys. This is where... Oh, Cassie Bristol says hi, Mom. Thank you. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, okay, here we go. So, alright. So, again, this is really suburban. Yeah, I do. Where we are, this is Vancouver, Washington right now. And the reason I thought it was particularly useful to illustrate the point I'm trying to make about this is because since the authorities have asked people to stay away from the actual area. Oh, hey, Miguel. Miguel says hi. Yeah, so because authorities have asked people to stay away from the area if they're not part of an official volunteer group, I thought that since we're not actually near that area, but it is very analogous to this same kind of terrain, this would be a handy way to illustrate what people are actually facing and why it's very unlikely that someone would go hiking in the Northwest in the middle of the winter. Okay, so again, this is a very small park. This is not, maybe 50 yards to a main road. There's a street right there. And you can see, just from here, how dense the underbrush is. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know, I just, if I can help, then, of course, do all I can.
I see a coyote, I'm running.
Okay, good to know. You're not gonna use your karate on them?
No, I'm gonna run.
Damn. Okay, so...
Self-defense.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so... From what we were first told, which was that she went hiking with her boyfriend in the woods and they got separated and then she went missing, we were also told that she was wearing Calvin Klein boots. Now, I'm wearing Doc Martens, and even in these aren't really shoes equipped for this kind of terrain. This is pretty heavy duty, and again, this is so suburban that, it can be... it's just very unruly, the wilderness. I could have, or bear sprays. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what we forgot. But yeah, so, yeah, the other thing is, around here, it gets dark very early. It's 4:30 now, the sun's gonna be going down very soon. So the fact that she was supposedly out in nature, from what we know, from noon to past midnight, and there's even a gap beyond that we don't really know about. I can tell you, just being out here, walking from the car where my mom was standing to where we are now, in that time, I had on only my sweater, and I actually had to go back to the car and grab my coat. that's kind of the way that the climate here works. What? What? You can see like a backyard playground and stuff. Where? Oh. See, yeah, but like, see, we're only a few feet away from the road, and like, a lot of stuff can be like hidden in here. So, yeah, the way the climate is here is that, oh wait, we could kind of go on this path, just a little bit different. But like, okay, is that the actual, okay, the chilliness, it's damp, it's cold. After a few minutes, it's like bone chilling. And it's been a pretty bright day today. There's not really like much, it hasn't been rainy. You can see, you know, it's not like, I mean, it's been very mild for this area. So even at that, I still had to turn around and be like, oh wait, no, I actually do need my coat, when I thought that I didn't. Because after a few minutes, it seeps in. And if you're wearing anything that's sort of cotton-based, it will hold the moisture and like it absorbs it and clings to you. That's why if you actually are like a big wilderness person, you know that wool under things and like long johns, etc. are essential, because you need that barrier. Sorry, do you have my water? I'm talking and walking and it's hard. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah. I get to talking and then suddenly can't. And again, also, like, okay, you can even, I think if I can zoom on this, yeah, you can see that right there is road. We are not in the dense woods, but it's pretty hard. I mean, it's pretty hardcore out here. Even this little sliver of, you know, nature. So, okay, someone wearing Calvin Klein boots, like, I mean, you have to wear heavy duty kind of stuff. Like, there are people who go out in winter and hike. Like, my sister is very much into that kind of stuff. But again, there's so much specialized gear that you need to actually do that. You know, like, if, you know, if Watterson had been wearing, say, like a North Face or a Columbia jacket and like some REI gear, that would be way more in line with going camping or hiking. Again, you can see a house right in this frame, I believe. Yeah, that's a house. And look at all this. It makes no sense for someone to, well, the second scenario that we got was that the car broke down and they got out of the car and went to find help. My thing is, okay, to me that still doesn't make sense for the same reason. If your car breaks down, why wouldn't you stay on the road and walk along it? Like, would you go, I mean, you see, like, who would just, you know, your car breaks down so you just like tear off into the woods? It doesn't make sense. So, I don't know. I mean, it's very difficult to really get a sense of how, like, I don't know, like my hands are like cold here and it's, I don't know, what, 45? It's like upper 40s right now. And like just the chilliness and the dampness, you can actually see a little bit of fog starting to form. That's the other thing. It gets very foggy here, especially in winter. I mean, it's like some Silent Hill kind of shit. It's very intense. So to hear that this person was potentially out in the woods from noon to past midnight when a neighbor in the area heard a knock on their door is, I mean, it's, that's very dire. We've been out here maybe, this says I've been live for 9 minutes, and yeah, like my fingers are going a bit like numb, like it's cold. But it's strange because it's not like, it doesn't hit you right away. It's not crisp, but it hangs in the air and it clings and like, I mean, I remember like, okay, again, just for context, you guys, here's what you're saying, the story makes sense. Thank you, okay, like, okay, thank you. Yeah, because again, I see a lot of people who, you know, are into covering these sorts of events and stories and occurrences that are ongoing. And a lot of them don't have a sense of what it's actually like in this particular area. It's really hard to explain. Like, oh yeah, you can see mist forming. That's so weird. Maybe try it this way. All right, so, okay, personal anecdote. So for a couple years, I had to take public transportation to get to school. Oh hey, what's up, Justin? There's this one. 30 hours. No, there's a 30-hour. She was missing for 30 hours before she was reported as missing, which is a big discrepancy. And I don't know, I thought maybe, I don't know, see, like, now my hands are getting all cold and everything. I don't want to be out here for too long because, again, I've only been here 10 minutes and, it's like getting to me. And I'm, not wearing, I'm in pretty heavy, shoes and everything. Yeah, it is, for quite a few reasons. And because I don't want to spend like an hour out here like talking over everything, there has been a lot discussed about it. I might do another part of this in a bit later when I get back. But okay, personal anecdote. Okay, so for a couple years I had to take public transportation in order to what?
Keep moving.
Oh, okay. Right, thank you. It's a lot to think about in order to get to school. And the bus stop that I had to walk to from where I lived at the time was half a mile away. Now, I had to walk there and back from there at the end of the day. And there were days in winter where it was not a downpour, but I would walk in my front door and the entire front of my body would be completely soaked in water. I would have to take off my clothes and throw them in the dryer. And this was essentially a very sort of heavy drizzle. I mean, this kind of stuff really does, or I guess this climate, this weather that we have here, it really seeps in, and it's surprising how it sort of penetrates everything. Again, wool is essential if you're gonna be out here for any extended length of time at all, even an hour, really. So it really makes no sense. Someone who's lived in or around Portland for their whole lives, why they would decide to take a jaunt in the middle of the winter, in very heavily wooded area that isn't even a park. Bear in mind, where they were supposedly hiking or where she went walking was private property. So imagine this, but without even these paths. It would just be this. It would just be like that everywhere. I mean, it's very unlikely that anyone would think to just go off into this kind of wooded area. Yeah, look at, geez. So no pathways whatsoever. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. I mean, do you see how even with no leaves, with nothing, in the middle of winter, it's so, the visibility is essentially pretty low, and there are so many things that could, that could hide anything. That's what makes no sense. What? Is this the spot? No, this is a very similar wooded area. This is not near the location of where she was last seen. The authorities have actually asked people not to go there and search independently if you're not part of an official volunteer group. So I figured, since this area is very much like that one in the character of the woods, this would be a good way to illustrate why it doesn't make sense for her to have been in the place where they said she was for the reasons they say she was. I don't know. Words are hard. Anyway. Okay. So yeah, the way that this stuff can soak in to or what kind of animals? Bears and deer. Yeah, well, mountain lions. I don't know. Coyotes. Yeah, we do have quite a few coyotes. In fact, my mom, who's with me helping me out here, said that if we see a coyote, I'm running. So they're around, and you can hear them at night sometimes. So oh my god, this is, yeah, a perfect example of do you see just how dense it? All these ferns, just everything. And I don't know, again, this is just so analogous to that area that I think it really is helpful to see. But yeah, this kind of humidity and the climate that we have, it just, I mean, like, after half an hour, again, walking half a mile, like, I mean, my lips will be chapped, my nose will be chapped, my eyes will be chapped, everything is chapped. It's really crazy the effect that this can have on you physically, when it really does look mild in winter. Yeah, you can there's some fog you can kind of see, maybe. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but yeah, so I don't know, just for reference, I've lived either in or around Portland for half of my life now. So I've been to Hillsborough many a time. I'm familiar with the air. Oh, let me see if you can, I don't know, you can get a sense of sort of the elevation change in this. Coyote not bad. Yeah, exactly. And they are social, like, creatures with complex social hierarchies. Or is this holly? Oh my god, that's pretty. Is it? Or is it like poison oak?
It's holly, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm gonna, oh gee.
Isn't it true?
Yeah, right? That's pretty cool. But again, like, I mean, yeah, that just clearly fell over too. Jeez. I mean, it wasn't like chopped down. It's just, damn. Look at that. Wow.
Is that another plant?
I mean, look at that. Or, oh yeah, yeah, it is.
I don't know.
Oh man, I want some of these holly sprigs. I wish I'd known about this. My witchy stuff. Anyway, but yeah, okay, so like there's like sort of a huge elevation change, and again, you can see the main road right next to a major highway. Like, you can literally see it right there, in the middle of the screen right now. But right next to it, very low visibility, very dense underbrush, and yeah, the reason I keep saying, like, oh, it's analogous to Hillsborough and everything is because there are parts of the Northwest, in the wooded area, like, you know, aside from the desert, that's like, oh, what? Ooh. Yeah, like, look at that. Yeah, actually, this dovetails with what I was just about to say. I love when that happens. If you go to an area farther north of here, like Olympia, the character of the woods is very different. You'll actually see that instead of an underbrush, there is simply a bed of pine needles. There's virtually no underbrush whatsoever, and that's because the trees there are so thick and dense that not enough sunlight actually penetrates to the floor for anything else to grow. So it's, you know, you don't get the kind of sort of potential hiding spots or the potential for things to get lost up there, but conversely, it's very dark all the time in those woods. You know, you can go there June 21st, June 22nd in the middle of the day, you know, the brightest, longest day of the year, and it's dark in those woods. It's always dark there. That's not the case here, but it still presents particular challenges that are sort of unique in a lot of ways to this part of the nation and the world and this region. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I can expound a bit more when we go back in, because this does like wear on you. It does wear on you out here. It's very difficult to be out here for any extended period of time. Put yours back next to it. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's, yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, up by Seattle then. Cool. Yeah, and in the summer, this is why people tend to just go like, you know, all out to spend time outdoors, because in winter, people really don't go out, you know, much aside from, you know, walking their dogs like that guy. Yeah, but aside from that, you can't be out here very long. It's really inhospitable. So it's really unlikely that anyone would do it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Are you my producer now? Thank you. I need a producer for real. Thank you for mentioning that, because yeah, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say next. So yeah, I'm going to end this here. I hope that this is given... Yeah, you can see there is fog setting in a little bit right now that you can actually see rising up. You know, I guess the ground just is so like spongy and retains so much water that throughout the day, even when it hasn't rained too much, I mean, it rains like pretty much every day, but even when it hasn't rained too much and it's relatively dry, it's still pretty damp and miserable, and it's still enough to literally hang in the air, you know. So anyway,
I love it up here.
I do love it. I don't even like I love it here. It's so great. I mean,
Look at the length of that tree.
yeah, I tried to sort of get a sense of, yeah, so see, this was clearly knocked over by wind or something, but yeah, you can't even see the end of it. Jeez. Or maybe you can a bit. Anyway, but yeah, there are a few more things that I feel are of note that are relevant, so maybe I'll come back and do another part to this. Again, local kind of culture and attitudes, and just, you know, the way things tend to be around here that might be different from what people from different regions of the nation or the world might not be familiar with, that might have bearing on this case. So, you know, the variables that people don't think about. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful in some way. I know I don't usually go into active, ongoing missing persons cases, but I felt that since you know, if I can help at all, I try to. So maybe someone who is far more versed in putting all of the different pieces of these kind of cases together than I am can make some use of, you know, just a little local knowledge about what it's actually like to be out in the woods, even in just a little area that, you know, really barely constitutes or as woods per se. Anyway, I hope that helps. I hope it gives context. I hope, I don't know, I mean, I hope this has been helpful. And God knows, I hope that they find her and that she's well and that they find her as soon as possible. And my heart goes out to her family. Again, this is, you know, my God, I can't imagine what they must be going through. And I just, yeah, my heart goes out to them. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful and given some insight, maybe get people thinking in different ways with different ideas, and, you know, just things that are a little bit quirky or idiosyncratic about this area. So thank you guys. I'll talk to you in a bit. Appreciate it. How do I do this again? Thanks guys, appreciate it. I'm gonna go. Like, this, seriously, it's affecting me already. 20 minutes. Thank you. Bye. I'll be back.